After weeks holed up in his presidential residence compound, Yoon Song-yeol will finally have his day in court. But after a failed attempt to arrest him by the country's anti-corruption agency, Mr. Yoon's lawyers say he won't actually be present in court, citing fears for his safety. Now, this all began in early December when Mr. Yoon declared martial law. He lifted it within hours, but it set off weeks of political turmoil and the parliament voted to impeach him. Since then, there's been weeks of enormous protests both in support of and against the president, and some of Mr. Yoon's most die-hard followers have been lining the road leading up to his residence in the hope of preventing any future attempts at arresting him. Now, the anti-corruption agency is investigating Mr. Yoon for insurrection over the botched attempt at martial law, but it failed to execute an arrest warrant after an hours-long standoff with presidential security nearly 2 weeks ago. The agency has obtained another arrest warrant, but Mr. Yoon's lawyers claim that it is unlawful and invalid. Meanwhile, the country's acting president has called on both the Presidential Security Service and the anti-corruption agency, who are working with police, to avoid any violence if there is another attempt at detaining Mr. Yoon. Separate to all this is the impeachment process, and today is the first of 5 hearings which have been set down in the country's constitutional court. Now, that court has to decide whether to uphold the impeachment of Mr. Yoon, a process which could take weeks or even months.